Hey guys, Dr. Justin Marcagiani here. Today we're going to be talking about the top 5 signs and symptoms of low magnesium. Again, this is a very crucial mineral that's involved in hundreds of enzymatic reactions in the body, maybe even thousands. We'll kind of talk about that and how you may know you have magnesium deficiency and what you can do about it. Excited to dive into that topic. Before we do, smash the like button. Make sure you subscribe either here or there and put your comments down below. Love to see what you guys are thinking on the topic. And let me know what you want me to talk about in future videos. I read those. All right, guys, let's dive in here. All right, so let me pull up my little handy dandy sticky note. If you guys like the sticky notes, let me know. I bought a new dry erase board, so I'll probably start doing some videos again soon with that. If you guys like that, let me know. Put it down below. If you like this, also let me know. Put it down below. Okay, out of the gate. So, top 5 signs and symptoms of magnesium deficiency. One of the first things that you're going to see in the body is muscle cramps and spasms. Now, with that, it could also be sodium chloride and potassium. So you can have a global electrolyte issues. And so, it's always good to have sea salt. It's always good to add in some magnesium. That's, I think, a really good first thing. If it doesn't quite go away, you may want to add some potassium along with it. Usually potassium and sea salt go together really well because sodium and potassium have a nice balance. But magnesium works phenomenal. It really helps with relaxation of muscles, especially if you have a spasm or your muscles are really tight outside of like some soft tissue or trigger point work. Getting some minerals in there and getting the inflammation down helps. That's going to help with aches and pains and spasms. Again, magnesium is a natural beta blocker. So getting into the next thing with heart rate and heart rhythm issues, it's going to relax your heart. Your heart's one of the biggest muscles. So just like it'll relax your major muscles like your glute and your back and your quads, it'll also help relax your heart. Number 2. So magnesium is a natural beta blocker. So instead of taking a medication to block or lower your heart rhythm, you're much, much, much better off taking nutrients. The problem with a lot of blood pressure medications, they tend to be diuretics. They tend to actually lower magnesium levels. And that's a problem because it basically keeps you in perpetual nature of being addicted to that medication because the nutrients that are needed to regulate blood pressure and vascular health are not there. And so you're always better off using dietary changes, getting your insulin and inflammation and blood sugar under control, and then using magnesium. Really powerful out of the gates. Again, magnesium is good for maintaining heart rate, natural beta blocker. Again, as a byproduct, you're going to have rhythms, just not having that steady rhythm. You're going to have palpitation issue where you feel like your heart's beating out of the chest. You may see your blood pressure on the higher side. The higher your blood pressure, the harder your heart has to beat to overcome the initial blood pressure. So if your systolic pressure is 140, your heart has to generate more than 140 millimeters of mercury to overcome that, to move the blood, which puts more strain on your heart. So you want to be on top of that. Plus, we need, that atrioventricular, the atrioventricular nodes, the little nodes in the heart that conduct electricity. You're going to need electrolytes. You're going to need sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium. You'll need those electrolytes to help that work. And so if you have like hyponatremia, too much water, not enough electrolytes, or just not enough electrolytes in general because your diet's full of processed food, your heart may not function well. So always dial in the hydration, be careful of the caffeine, and get the electrolytes dialed in, especially magnesium. Insomnia, sleep, that's a big one here. So magnesium has natural relaxation sedative effects. I tell patients best time to take magnesium is before bed. You could take it in the morning as well, as long as you don't feel overly tired or fatigued. That you can do it in the morning, but definitely do it at nighttime as well. It's going to promote a lot of relaxation. It's going to help with GABA. It's going to help with other neurotransmitters, especially serotonin. Magnesium is needed for good serotonin synthesis, and again, magnesium naturally promotes relaxation. It's involved in so many enzymatic processes. So if you were to go online and Google, magnesium and serotonin or magnesium and melatonin, you're probably going to find that magnesium is involved in some way because there's so many enzymatic processes it's connected to. And so again, you can just kind of throw a rock at it. You're going to hit something. And so GABA plays a really important role too. L-theanine plays an important role with GABA. Very important that we have good GABA. GABA is that inhibitory neurotransmitter that's going to help relax the nervous system, put on the parasympathetics, hit the brakes, so to speak. And so GABA is super helpful, and magnesium will play an important role with GABA. At bedtime, I'll mix in magnesium and some glycine and just add some water, and that works phenomenal to kind of calm things down and help. You can add some NAC in there, and then you have a really great formula to reduce oxidative stress significantly. Mental health. So, on organic acid testing, we'll run this organic acid called quinolinic acid, which is an inflammatory compound in the brain. And one of the things that we always see to reduce inflammation in the brain is magnesium. Magnesium will decrease quinolinate. It'll decrease picolinate, which are inflammatory byproducts when they're high. It says we need good magnesium. We need to reduce inflammation. Russell Blaylock, the famous neurosurgeon, would say that when he would give magnesium to his patients that were undergoing a craniotomy or some kind of a brain surgery, he found that the patients that took magnesium always healed faster and did better post-surgery. Again, this isn't a study, but this is his observation, having done hundreds, if not thousands of surgeries. He noticed that correlation in his career, which is pretty powerful. So magnesium helps with brain inflammation. Again, a lot of mood issues in the brain are going to be induced by brain inflammation. So if we can reduce inflammation in the brain, now we can do it by reducing gluten and inflammatory foods and casein and processed sugar and Roundup and pesticides and mold. That'll decrease the activation of microglial cells, which are the immune cells of the brain. That'll decrease that activation, which is super helpful. So magnesium is really good. Is it true that magnesium is an NMDA receptor antagonist? Maybe. You can Google that. I mean, there's hundreds of different enzymatic roles in the body. So, like I said, throw a rock at something, you're going to hit it. And so, yeah, you're going to play a major role because a lot of inflammation in the brain is going to be connected to anxiety and depression. Some of the newer medications that are in the pipeline are working on brain inflammation to alter mood. So that plays a big role. Also, gluten plays a big role too, because it decreases blood flow up the carotid arteries to the brain, and decreased blood flow to the brain will also alter mood, depression, things like that. Chronic fatigue. Magnesium is a vital component for the energy production cells. If you look at the Krebs cycle or the citric acid cycle, you'll see there's a lot of interplays where magnesium is involved in the citric acid cycle. And then a lot of times we'll give, in my line, we use magnesium supreme, which is a magnesium dimalate. Malic acid is an important nutrient for the Krebs cycle in generating energy. So we'll use magnesium, especially in malic acid, to help with energy production. Again, magnesium is involved in blood sugar metabolism. So if you eat too many carbs, guess what? You're going to have a very expensive transaction fee on a lot of that glucose. You're going to deplete your magnesium levels with all that sugar. And so the more carbohydrate you eat, the more magnesium you eat to make sure you aren't creating a transaction fee deficit, if you will. So that'll help with weakness and stamina and performance and relaxation. Really important for the Krebs cycle that you have that dialed in, especially in a malate or malic acid form, which is excellent. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please let me know. Put it in your comments below. Let me know future topics you want me to talk about. And again, magnesium is so important. How I look at it and assess it, everyone should be on it. It's that straightforward. A lot of studies, over half the country is deficient, especially when you're stressed. Magnesium, my favorite forms are going to be in a malate form. You can do cheaper ones like in a citrate, like a natural calm. You can do magnesium glycinate, which is very well absorbed. I'll use oxygenated magnesium to help with motility issues, but a malate or a glycinate or a aspartate, these are going to be good chelates, dimalate. These are going to be excellent chelates that are very well absorbed. Cannot hurt to be on some good magnesium. Magnesium will be rich in your high quality dark chocolate, leafy greens, typically your fish, your squash, sweet potato, your salmon. Those are going to be excellent resources for it in your food. Maximize that, then go to supplements last. Good test for magnesium. You can look at your magnesium serum. We want that 2 or higher. You can do your RBC, red blood cell magnesium. We want that 5 or higher. These are some good signs or symptoms. If you're having any of the big symptoms that I mentioned in the video, the top 5, add some extra magnesium. See how you feel. Do they get better? If they don't, throw a little bit of sea salt in with it. Do you feel better? Nope. Maybe add a little potassium too. Most of the time, I'd say 95%, that's going to knock it out of the park right away. Now, there could be a lot of cortisol issues that you need the adrenals looked at too, so keep an eye on it holistically. So I hope you guys enjoyed. If you want to dive in deeper, you need functional medicine support along with some of these low magnesium symptoms, there'll be a link down below where you can reach out and schedule with my team to get functional medicine support worldwide if you need that. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video. Question come in here. Can someone be magnesium deficient even if the range is fine on a blood test? It's possible. Like you may have your magnesium serum at 2 and your red blood cell may be at 5, but you're like, hey, you know what? I am having some heart palps. I'm having some muscle issues. Let me try and add some of these nutrients in. Oh, I feel better. That's a good sign that you may be functionally deficient. I think it was Roger Williams' book, Nutritional Bioindividuality. Talks about people's need for certain nutrients just genetically could be exponentially higher than the next person. And then when you factor in stress, so for instance, in Guyton's physiology, Guyton talks about the kidneys pushing out lots of potassium, for instance, when you're under a lot of stress. And so when you have higher cortisol, lots of stress, you could actually be peeing out a lot of these minerals. So it's possible you could just be dumping them to help deal with and buffer the stress and the acidity of inflammation. So it's very possible on that front. That's why you want to have a great diet. And then supplements are going to be important just because our soil supply is devastated. Our topsoil, our microbiome of the soil is devastated. So without good, healthy microbiome soil, even organic foods not going to have as much minerals, much nutrition like magnesium, vitamin C, manganese as plants did 50 years ago. And so you're going to have to rely on some level of supplementation to help offset that. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed. Links down below, reviews, appreciate it. Thumbs up, subscribe, and reach out for more support, guys. Take care. Dr. J signing out. Peace.